Hey there everyone, I am Thakard. This is Survival Fountain of Youth. Welcome back. Today we are going to be going over another guide video that was suggested by a viewer. Now you might be going, Thakard, why do you have a deer on your shoulder? Well, it's all part of today's video. Today we are discussing how to make gunpowder. And well, we're going to need a couple of these guys. Before we get to using these guys to make saltpeter, we kind of have to go back to the beginning of this whole gunpowder journey. Okay, so I've arrived at the Sulfur Island. Why? Well, we have a couple of components that we're going to have to pick up here. Now, the gunpowder recipe itself is not that difficult to make. It requires 3 different components: sulfur, ash, and saltpeter. Now, ash is actually really easy to come by because it is a byproduct of burning coal in any of our heavy industrial equipment. So you should have this already. Now, sulfur and saltpeter, they will require some processing and some mining, so make sure you bring a shovel. And for the sulfur, we're going to have to get up to the Sulfur Plateau, which means we're going to have some fighting ahead of us. Or if you have already cleared out the area, all we'll have to do is use the secret door over here and we are good to go. Put him down. I myself have opened up the secret passage so we can use this back doorway here. Whether you decide to fight your way through the swamp or come up the relatively safe back stair, we are in the Sulfur Plateau. Once you get here, please make sure you have brought yourself a breathing apparatus, because you will need it, because the gases here, well, these are all going to kill you. So there are a couple things here that we need to get. One is a story-related item for saltpeter, and the other is the sulfur itself. Now, if we go up to any of these fetid, disgusting, noxious, fuming little holes in the ground, and we walk on up to them and we hit E, we can now mine sulfur directly from these sulfur deposits. And, well, there are lots of them. If you see any of these gas vents here, you can get sulfur from any of them. So you're not going to run out anytime soon. Now we're moving on to the saltpeter. For that, we're going to have to come over here and discover a little item. So we are in this area, in the central portion of the Sulfur Island. We got to come over here and find this guy's little book. Once we do that, we can start making some explosives. If this guide video has been helpful to you, please take a minute, go down below, hit that subscribe button, and give the video a thumbs up. Thank you. Now that I've gathered the sulfur that we'll need for the gunpowder, it's time to head back to our main base and actually get the rest of the components. Now that the sulfur has been returned, we can now start working on the saltpeter. Now the saltpeter is used as an oxidizer for our gunpowder. And for that, we need to use these saltpeter pits. And saltpeter pits convert carcasses into saltpeter. All you have to do is build the saltpeter pit, and then you just grab yourself an animal. Once you get all the resources off it that you need, you bring the carcass back to the saltpeter pit, and you just hit E to add carcass. There you go. We now have a saltpeter pit that is fully loaded with the raw materials. This was that one wolf and that one deer. And slowly they will turn into saltpeter for us. As you see over here, we have saltpeter that we can now take. So we will take those 6 saltpeter. You will know that you do have some saltpeter that's ready to be harvested because it will get that white sheen on top of the pile of, well, rotting everything. For the last component to the gunpowder, we're headed over to our heavy machinery. Now, this is our smelter and this is our forge. Both of these are for working with metal and both of them require coal to burn. So we can either mine the coal or we can manufacture the coal and then we can burn it in these. That allows us to make the weapons that we want to make, but also it has a byproduct. If you look at the bottom right there, you can see that we have 10 of 10 ash. We get ash by burning coal. So we are going to just take the ash here from both of these. And now we have all the components that we will need to make the gunpowder. The last step for us to make our gunpowder is to take all of our components and then to head over to the improved chemistry workbench. Once here, it's just as easy as going down to the gunpowder, selecting the number we want, and, well, sitting here for several hours while it does its work. And just like that, we have the gunpowder that is now ready to be crafted into whatever ammunition we need. To do that, we just head over to the workbench here and we combine the gunpowder with as much iron as we're going to need, and we turn it into any of the shots that we require. All right, guys, that was a video that was requested by one of my viewers. If you guys have a video that you would like to see me cover, please leave that down below in the comments. Also, give this thing a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it, as well as leaving some comments down below to help that YouTube algorithm really get this out there. Special thank you to those of you who have decided to become channel members. Very much appreciated. Do remember that it doesn't matter how much you decide to give to the channel, you all get the same benefits. All right, everybody. Now that you have the ammunition for your weapons, you can finish up all those annoying things on the Silver Island, like, you know, the boss. And you can move on to the island of Bimini itself. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later out on the seas of Survival Fountain of Youth. Maybe after this storm is done.